Good morning, good night, or good evening, everyone. This is Lord Holland 4293, and today we are bringing you Stalingrad, the Tier 10 special ship. Well, premium ship mostly, but a steel ship. So Stalingrad is available in the Research Bureau. Steel ships. For a very hefty price. She is about 28,000 without the coupon. So with the coupon, 28,000 times 0.75 is about 21,000. So it'll be about 21,000 to buy this ship. Again, you can get, if you do the monthly battle passes and get all the steel in a month for a year, that's roughly around enough to buy one steel ship a year. So well worth it. And I love my Stalingrad. I've done a decent amount of playing it. So consumable for economic boost, she gets 50 to credits, 105 to ship XP, 115 to commander XP, and then without the boost, 150 to ship XP. So not a huge difference. Armor-wise, she's a very, very tanky ship, but she does have some pretty key weaknesses. So let's look at her. She's got a 50 millimeter icebreaker bow, but then she gets a 27 millimeter, plating bow. That is overmatchable by every battleship you face. So you want to try to bounce the shells on the 50 millimeter belt armor, or hope they hit that bow right here, and you can bounce those shells off it. So that is a weakness of her. Armor wise, when you pull away her citadel, it's clear above the waterline, folks. So don't show broadside in this thing, otherwise you will get deleted. Now she does have a 50 millimeter deck, which is very HE, resilient. But there are a few ships that will kill her. But let me finish and then she gets 25 to her aft plating, and then she gets that belt armor on the 50 millimeter side. So if you can bounce shells on those 50 millimeter platings along your hull, you can be a very tanky cruiser. But as far as deck armor goes, you have a lot of superstructure. But the ships that can really farm you down are the Marseille. Azau can do it by just setting you on fire. And Henri with IFHE can kill you. And Hindenburg. Since 8 German ships have improved HE pin, they basically do pin you. Now, let's bring up the Hindenburg so you can just see it. HE pin, 51 millimeters. So it will pin you. Marseille, where's the Marseille at? 55 millimeters. So, and let's look at Zal. 37, but you're pumping out a lot of shells, and you can go dark on the Stalingrad. So you can pick a fight with a Zal against the Stalingrad. So again, there are a lot of ships. Before she came out, this ship is very overpowered. But she's been power crept by the amount of ships that can burn her down now. So she's not. So against Balin, against Sap, they don't do much. Royal Navy ships, since they only shoot AP, just bounce off your deck. So you are still very tanky against certain cruisers. And you'll see that in the Stalingrad replay. Now, she does have her guns are her main habit. She has 9 305 millimeter guns, reload of 21 seconds, rotation time 31 seconds. Now, max dispersion 229. Max HE damage, you're never going to probably do that. But it has a 51 millimeter armor pin. So don't be afraid to use HE if you have to. So it's 4,500. AP is about 9,660. Now the range, she does get less range, but you want to run a range Stalingrad. That's a competitive build. So run a competitive build on a Stalingrad and you'll do okay. Airstrike, she does get 2 ships, 2 of these. They're 8 kilometers, so you can put a little bit of fight on a sub, but it's not much. AA-wise, AA is another strong sector of Stalingrad. This thing doesn't look like it has much AA, but it does. With defensive fire, you can repel a carrier. Well, not really repel. You'll repel an incompetent carrier player, but a competent carrier player will still strike you. But he will sustain losses. So you just have to learn how to use it. And I do go against the CV in my rematch. And I do a lot of stuff I normally don't do in a CV, but I get away with it. So we'll get to show you that AA. Now, she does 37 knots. She has a 12.5 rudder shift, but her turning circle is massive. That's why I recommend don't showing broadside. You want to pre-plan your attack route. You want to pre-plan your runaway route. You want to think ahead in the ship, because if you're thinking on the fly and thinking, okay, as the battle happening, you're going to die. You got to think ahead. Concealment-wise, don't expect to be stealthy. That's why we run a range one, so we can stay farther away. And the velocity on the AP shells allows you to do that. But you can get in close if you pick the right situations, and you'll just devastate stuff. But Moskva is definitely tankier than her, so we'll bring up Moskva. 14.2 on Moskva, or 14.2 on Stalin, 14.1 on Moskva. So not much difference. Now for modules, since I ran a competitive build, I ran Auxiliary Armaments Modification 1 for AA survivability, because you never know when you're going to need it. Surveillance Radar Modification 2, available in the coal for about 12,000 in the reach. So Surveillance Radar is in the armory for 12,000 coal with a coupon. Aiming Systems Modification 1, Damage Control 2, Concealment, and the Range Module. Now, with everything spec'd, now we're going to take off all the flags so you can see it. But she gets Damage Control, 4 charges of defensive fire, 4 radars, and 4 heals. Now, for the build, I run a little bit. So I run Nikolai Kuznetsov because he has Will to Survive, which can save you a lot in a Stalingrad. So, Grease the Gears, Gun Feeder, Priority Target, Superintendent, Super Heavy AP, and Adrenaline Rush, Top Grade Gunner, and Concealment Expert. This is what you kind of want to be running in Stalingrad. Now, you could switch Top Grade Gunner for Outnumbered, but I would recommend using one of these two skills. If you really wanted to go a really competitive build, you could run Survivability Expert. If you could take Top Grade Gunner, switch that out for Survivability Expert and Incoming Fire Alert. But that's pretty much all you'd really want to do. Since the radars aren't that long, you don't really want consumable enhancements. But let's get into that replay, and we'll show you how the Stalingrad does it. Hello, and welcome to the Stalingrad replay. Now, this one's a little interesting. So, what we're facing is a Malta, Montana, Louisiana, and a Kremlin. 3 of them are in a division. They got a Republic, Worcester, Petra, Minotaur, Venezia, Gion, Darien, Yuying. Now, for our team, we have Audacious, Montana, Slava, Schlieffen, Worcester, Austin, Stalingrad, and Napoli, Gudelu, Sherman, and Holland. And they're just saying it ain't over till it's over. And I have the Schlieffen and the Sherman on my side, so I know where I gotta go. But it's those battleships that worry me the most. And the carrier. I know I am a little bit scared of the Malta. I am scared of the Malta and the battleships. And I know if those cruisers play right, they can kill me. So I have to be wary. And they're like, well, they're already saying surrender now. Well, one guy is. GH clan players, that's... I wouldn't be surprised if he did get reported. It's kind of sad when you see that kind of defeatism at the beginning of the match. It is. But right there, our CV does spot 2 of the battleships. So that gives me an idea of where they're going. And the Schlieffen's with me. He's going up. So I decided to go in with the Schlieffen. I'm like, Schlieffen's a pretty powerful boat, so I can basically help. And I'm like, so the Audacious needs your support. Can you spot here? And he like goes, Roger. So now I see what we're fighting, and that'll help the Sherman a lot, knowing what we're fighting. And I just decided to go full board in at this point. And right there, he spots the Minotaur, Worcester. Basically ships that I can kill. Squishy cruisers I can kill. And a Venezia. I'm not really scared of the Venezia. Yeah, a little bit, but they got to get on my side to kill me. And a Sherman out DPMs the Daring. And then a Schlieffen's pushing, and then he's pushing into the Schlieffen secondary range. So it's not looking good for the Daring. And the Daring is in Schlieffen secondary range, so I decided to hold my, because I know the Schlieffen is, the Sherman can hide you on, so I'm not really worried. Eight 8,000 off the bat, not bad. But the Minotaur really messed up. He smoked up. So I get well within my radar range. So he can, and I pop my radar. Didn't load that up as best I could. I could have loaded it better. But again, still, 7 pins, 19,000 damage. He is really hurting. And he's just gonna keep going downhill. He's gonna be basically useless for the rest of the match. And I overmatch his bow. So I aim for the bow because I know I can overmatch it. Our Austin and our division comes through, and they basically help pick up the Daring. And I played 20-some thousand on that Minotaur. And there's the CV. I did pop my defensive AA, because I know he's going to be a problem.
The ship is on fire.
And I do Citadel the Worcester for 13,000. And I don't recommend taking this position. I took this position because I felt confident enough to do it. And I wanted to angle. Because the Minotaur is literally right there. He's just bouncing shells off me. And I start backing up because I know I'm CV food. I want to put more angle, and I want to, you know, defend myself. See, bowing against Venezia, he just does about 3,000. And I try to look where the shots are going, but I know that
Anti-aircraft gun
he's literally right there, and I can't kill the guy. I do get a blind shot, and I do Citadel him again. And it's like at that point, I think he realizes he can't keep fighting. He's got to run away. And our Schlieffen are Napoli saying brawling time. Now see, the CV is coming for me, but I do have a Worcester here with me too. So our combined AA is basically what helps protect me against the CV. I'm glad the Worcester and his division with the Slava, they all moved up here. I am really glad they moved up. Because I don't think I would have survived as long as I did without having the Worcester's help. Now, Worcester does take a Citadel from the Republic. But I just love how 3 of their battleships went right down the middle. And they've already lost one of them. They're in Louisiana. And they took C with like no challenge at all. They've lost all their DDs, so it was like a steam. And I'm like, okay, I'm just turning my guns on the Kremlin to start putting AP into him to help the team at B, because the cruisers aren't really that important to me. I'm just gonna help focus them down, and they do pick up the Republic. The Worcester does, so great. And that CV is still coming back again. Now he was going for the cruisers at C. And I'm helping the Napoli, trying to help pick them up. Again, I leave him on just such a sliver of health.
Torpedoes to port.
And I'm just shooting, trying... And there's a Minotaur shooting me from, well, way out there. Or Worcester. And I do pick up the...
Victory is in sight.
Kremlin.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
And I don't know why I popped high radar. I guess I wanted to see what anything was range. But I mean, see, the Minotaur is just shooting me, and I'm just breaking shells. And I'm just tanked. I'm almost at the 2 million potential damage. And I'm just about ready to cross 100,000. I'm putting everything on this Montana, because I know he can't technically kill me if he gets just that right angle. Now, I really should have switched to the Venezia. I didn't really pay attention to the Venezia. Now, I don't really know how the Austin went down the torps, honestly. I really don't. I was like wondering, how did that happen? That Minnow got real lucky. I'm certain the Austin was focused on other things, but it's understandable. I mean, at this point, we outnumber them in ships. And I do have, someone's aiming at me, but I know that's the Minotaur. And I pop my heel, so I don't die. Worcester's moving up. And he's doing what a Worcester does. Island hugging and just... And I do fire one more shell at the Montana. And clear the islands. 1800. But then I realized that the Venezia is literally right in front of me. Now, I think this Venezia is trying to go for a torp rush on me. But not like in the Montana. Okay. But then I realized that the Venezia is just too good of a target. 17,000 with the one salvo on the Venezia. And the Worcester shooting him with AP now.
Anti-aircraft gun crews.
The secondaries are going off. Venezia is gone. And right there, done.